Hello again, sweet darlings. Welcome back to my channel and another Feasting with the Saints video. I'm recording this in my garden because it's just such a beautiful sunny day, so I wanted to come outside and just do a little voiceover here while I make some Krakow-style roasted pork with apples with all of you. I had this the other night for dinner with some lovely mashed potatoes and just some peas on top of the stove. It was so tasty. Definitely the apples were such a lovely touch, and I served those up kind of as a garnish on the side because they were super sweet. I think I would make this again, but probably for a bigger group. But without further ado, we can jump into preparing this dish. It's very simple, actually. You really just need some pork loin, apples, 2 tablespoons of honey, a tablespoon of mustard, a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, some rosemary, which I didn't have, and olive oil, and I used lard instead, as I often do. Now, this dish is to celebrate Saint Stanislaus, who was born on the 26th of July in 1030 in Poland, and he was a very pivotal figure in Polish Catholic history, and he's celebrated as the patron saint now of Krakow and Poland. He was ordained a priest, and then he rose to become the Bishop of Krakow in 1072, although he was reluctant about this, but Pope Alexander II directed him to do so. And his tenure was marked by a bold confrontation with King Boleslaus II, whose immoral actions, which culminated ultimately in the abduction of a nobleman's wife, Stanislaus publicly denounced. After failed attempts at reform of the king, I assume, Stanislaus excommunicated the king, which was kind of a big deal in those days, leading to his martyrdom on the 11th of April, 1079. Coincidentally, the 11th of April is my birthday, so as I was reading this, I was thinking, oh, okay, I wasn't thinking about him on my birthday, but maybe next year I will be thinking about him and his bravery for his faith. And actually, the king killed him during Mass at Skalka Church. He was canonized in 1253 by Pope Innocent IV, and his feast day is observed either on the 11th of April or in Krakow on the 7th or 8th of May, which is why we've got it in a traditional calendar on the 7th of May. One of the most prominent customs in this area is the annual procession from Waywell Cathedral to Skalka Church, which was the site of his martyrdom, and it's held on the Sunday following May 8th or aligning with the local feast, and it features clergy, laity, and civic leaders who carry his relics in a silver reliquary symbolizing his enduring protection over Poland. I read this to my family over dinner as we were eating this dish, which is just how I intended to use these booklets. So I'm making a conscious effort to do that and share a little bit of history with them over dinner. I'm not sure that my toddler really appreciated it, but my husband was quite interested in the story and made the excellent point that in those days especially, it would have been very difficult to stand up to the king. You really would have had to have a lot of nerve, not only to publicly denounce the king, who you knew could kill you and probably wouldn't hesitate to do so, but also to excommunicate them. And it also got me thinking that I want to look into a little bit more about the history of kind of the excommunication ceremony or procedure, because my husband made a comment saying that it used to be quite gruesome. So I'm kind of intrigued now as to what this entails. So I'll fill you in when I learn a little bit more about that. But I liked this dish because it was really easy to prepare. I actually had some pork in the freezer that had been in there since Christmas because it was on offer, and we hadn't really found a reason to use it. We don't eat a lot of pork in our house, so this was a lovely way to kind of use that up. I then used the leftovers of this to do a pork stir fry the following night, so nothing went to waste. It roasted really nicely. It had a lovely kind of sweet flavor, and actually when I served it, I sliced it, I put it on some plates, and then I drizzled it with a little bit more honey just to add a bit more juice in. There didn't end up being a lot of juice for me to pour over the pork, and I think that's always nice just to have a little bit of something juicy to go with your meat. So that's what I did instead. It was lovely and simple, nice and filling, just with those mashed potatoes and peas. Nothing complicated, but we enjoyed it very much, and I hope that you all will enjoy it as well. As ever, I'll drop the full recipe notes into the description. I hope that you are enjoying your recipe booklets, and if you haven't already got yours for May, you can pick that up on our website, and that is linked below as well, or in my YouTube bio. I hope to see you all here again soon for another video, but in the meantime, take good care, everybody, and God bless.